Do you manage your emotions appropriately? Do you find them difficult to manage? I had a session today and I was talking to the mother about her own past and her own experiences and how challenging that was for her growing up. And she was talking about situations that arose when her kids were younger and how she struggled to manage her own emotions, and she'd flip off the end and get aggressive and uh, yeah, be really scary towards her kids. And I thought about that in terms of the impacts that we can have, not because we mean to, not because it's a conscious effort, but because it's something that's happened to us as a young child when we had no control of how we would be treated, no control how we'd manage our own emotions. And this lady is sitting there opposite me today in tears because she felt, as she was sharing, how disturbing it was for her to hear that she treated her children like that, even though there was no malice, no intent to hurt, harm. And her child's 17 now and trying to manage her emotions with everything that comes up in her life and the challenges that she's faced over the time. And it's really interesting how the experiences that have happened for the mother as a young child, where she wasn't able to experience love and care and nurturing and the support that she needed at the time, how it was neglected, and then she had to go on and have a child and try and fix that without any help, any support from anyone. And it's really difficult to do a really good job in that moment because, we all know when we have children, they make us react, not make us. They have a way of triggering us and getting us upset and want their needs met. God be it, they're a child. But the importance of, you know, being able to manage those emotions that you have internally and feeling the emotions as they come up and knowing what to do. And if you've never been taught, if you've never had that opportunity to be able to uh, experience a supportive parent, a supportive caregiver when you're upset, sad, angry, healthy emotions as a child, don't get me wrong. But if they've not been met in that way, if they've not been supported at that moment, often what happens is you get them all mixed together. So anger, sadness, all get mixed in this one big emotion. And the body takes it in and it is overwhelming. And so when they turn into that adolescent child, that their whole body's experiencing on a daily basis these emotions that they can't understand, that they're trying to process and work through, and they're getting all this hit with all that's happened before, then it's a wonder why they can't manage their emotions. They can't express in the healthy way that they need to, like adults tend to be able to do eventually. Some adults, not all. And I wonder, that conversation that I had with the mother today, and as she's sharing and reaching out and understanding the impacts that all those times where she may have yelled, and all from her own past traumas, her own hurt, her own pain, that that child saw all those things and made them mean so much more than they needed to as a child. But a child has no power to differentiate between what's mine and what's yours. Adults struggle with it. So all they're getting is the experience of this um, overwhelming sensation that they're to blame, or they're to, mum's going off again because I've done something wrong. I've hurt her, or I've caused her pain, or I'm at fault. And we know that's not true. We know that's not what's really happened, but we get this experience as a child where we feel intensely and feel that something is wrong with us. And that mother felt that too, because that's what she experienced. And then she had to go and have children because she wanted to, and that's her prerogative. But there's a fallout. There's an experience that happens over that time then that the child has now experienced. And it's really difficult to break that cycle when this is occurring over and over again. And that's where therapy, coaching, support comes in, because it allows you to start to unravel these things, start to unravel, why did I react that way? Why, when someone does something, or when my child does something, why do I go off the handle? Why do I shut them down? Why do I go silent? Avoiding patterns or fighting patterns, dynamics that play out in the relationship over and over again. As they get older, it gets harder and harder because it's never been actually repaired and supported, and they feel that their needs aren't getting met at any given time, and then patterns get created that then form these ideas that people don't care about me, or that my relationships are all problematic because I can't manage emotions. So I just wanted to come on and share that experience today, because if anyone is feeling that, if anyone's felt in their life that, one, they feel misunderstood, or they feel unheard, or they feel like they haven't been listened to, or that people judge them, then maybe something along the way in your life has been a belief that came up for you that has entrenched this idea that you're not enough, that people hurt me. And until we understand what it was, or what we told ourselves as a child at any given time when things were going on, then it's really difficult to navigate. And like this girl, the emotions are so strong and so in the body that it's just so overwhelming, and creates a sensation that is really too strong to be able to manage. So then negative behaviors come up. They start getting angry, they start yelling, they shut doors. And often this is the cycle that goes on and on and on. And everyone gets hurt in that process. So until we unpack it, until we start to actually unravel, and this can be painful at first, the unraveling, the conversations where you have to also almost explore your own childhood and what's happened. But eventually it gets easier, because then you start to bring awareness to everything. You start to bring conscious awareness and a reflective capacity to what's been going on. And you start to understand that maybe some of the ways that I'm interacting is causing the distress for another. Or when someone else does, why I'm triggered by what's happening. And so I just wanted to come on and have that sort of reflection time. And I'd love for you to have a think about your own life and how that plays out in your relationships with your partner, with your children, with your parents, with friends. Things have happened over the years that have, have created some of these dynamics and some of these patterns that play out over and over again. And until we become conscious of them, until we understand why we're playing out those particular roles and particular ways, then often we don't know why we're reacting the way we are. When we get angry, we hurt people, or we hurt ourselves because we make it inward. This mother I was talking about spent most of her life trying to understand her own emotions, and in doing that, internally got really angry. And naturally, it has to come out at some point. It has to, because our bodies can't hold it for that too long. And if it does, we then get sick and we feel ill, and chronic illness comes, and chronic pain, we start to feel pain in our bodies. It never escapes us. So I'd love to hear some of your thoughts, some of your comments about some of the things that I've talked about, and let's start a conversation about what it is to be an adult, what it is to be a mother, because it's a difficult, challenging job, particularly when you're dealing with all these things that may be coming up for you. And adolescence is a particular perfect time for all those triggers to come past. It's easy when kids are running up to you and trying to hug you and wanting to be always around you because they want and love you. But when they're starting to go into their rooms and reject your advances and your support and all those things, it becomes really challenging, really difficult to manage those emotions. So yeah, come and say hi and let's have a chat about some of these things. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear what's going on in your world, what your experiences are, and if I can help in any way. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm a family therapist, been a counsellor, worked with young people for 20 years and parents, particularly mothers. I'd love to have a chat with you and see if we're a good fit. And if we are, then, I've got amazing programs that I can support you in identifying some of those things we've just talked about. And I'd love to help you. So yeah, come on, have a chat. Let's look at some of the experiences, and really love to support you in whatever's going on for you. So take care.